Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. And we are here for episode 6 of the Encore called Demons and Division. Let's get into
I
it.
do not owe you conversation. Let's also get that clear. We don't want to hear from you. Go. She said, well, I changed my mind. And she has that right.
Okay, before we get into the episode, I would like to say please subscribe, like, and comment on my channel to this video. And let's get into it. So we start off, and I don't know if I be missing stuff or if editing is really that jacked up and they just be adding stuff in the next episode, because the way this one starts off, we have Pam and Lamisha talking in the kitchen, and they're showing a flashback to like the last episode where they were arguing, and Lamisha tells Pam, you know, you didn't even back us up, you basically just walked out on us. And Pam telling her, I don't have to be a part of that if I don't feel like it, Lamisha. But it's weird. I think the editing is off, because it's like, for y'all to fight last night and then be in the kitchen, Pam washing her hands, you wearing that dress cute, your hair, yes, cute, you. And I'm not gonna say what I want to say about Pam, but it's like, Pam, you are giving off vibes, sweetheart. What you trying so hard to fight, you are giving off vibes. But yeah, so I'm just like, y'all got into it. But then Lamisha apologizes to Pam, and you know, Pam is like, of course, you know, it is what it is, we all good. And then Felicia comes in the kitchen, she like, what, y'all got into it last night? And then once, I don't, that's awkward for me. I don't, like, am I crazy? Because like, if we get into an argument, I'm not gonna ignore you, but we not gonna be buddy buddy how they seem to do after they just got done arguing. But anyway, so I guess that's water under the bridge with them, and they're focusing on the listening party. And Sita calls them down, and I don't know why, but everybody is dressed to the nines, like real early in the morning, or so it seems, because when Sita says, you know, the party is going to be happening later, but everybody is fully dressed already. So I'm just like, y'all just wait around all day. But they used to this. I don't know nothing about it. But so then they go downstairs to the studio, you know, to listen to their records, to make sure that they have everything that they need. Well, they don't, because Cosign took Bird's Eye View with him. It was on his software, I'm assuming. And then they also listened to another record that he was supposed to produce, and the ladies didn't like what he did on either record. So it's like, basically, what is he here for? Because he's not adding anything or adding what they like. And once again, this is what I don't get. I'm like, what do y'all be doing in the studio together, man? And then it's like, if he took it and he produced it and didn't sit, and that's another thing, like, he takes things and doesn't keep it there on that computer, or either send it back so they can listen to it and work on it. So, and it's like, y'all are supposed to be getting ready for this party, and y'all really don't know nothing about y'all songs. And so and Aubrey has said that the chair, because they call them the Cherish twin, she said they have backed themselves into a corner of having control over everything, so they're gonna have to be the ones to fix it and make sure that it's ready. And of course, a few minutes later, Lamisha is saying the same thing in her confessional. Since they want to control everything, let's see what frickin' Frack does. And I'm getting real tired of her calling them that, because it's just like, y'all ain't did nothing. So yeah, they controlling everything, but y'all didn't try to, you know, fight that either. Y'all just let it be what it was. And also, I'm on a tangent now, but to the side, because last episode, was it last episode or episode before that? No, it was last episode. Because Aubrey said something about, these are grown women. They're married. They have children. I can't manipulate them. And it's like, anybody can be manipulated by the right person. So it's like, don't make it seem like just because somebody is an adult, they can't be manipulated. But y'all just don't want to say that, but that's basically what it is. But anyway, back to this episode. So they're getting ready, and we see who shows up for them. And we see that Brandy from Black showed up for Shamari, as well as her husband. And he showed up with a whole bunch. I love that. A very supportive husband. I love that. Then we have Mila showing up for set. I'm like, girl, you the only other member. Why wouldn't you show up? And then Kima from Total showed up for Pam. And I won't lie, this little segment, like, it got to me because as soon as Kima saw Pam, and Pam, you wrong, because she tried to play her off and like hold up her arm like this, and Kima was like, girl, get that arm out my way and give me a hug. And this is how you know they are real friends, because Pam said they haven't talked for like 4 or 5 years, but Kima immediately went into it. She's like, you know, I'm hurt. Like, I'm happy you doing this, but I'm hurt. Like, fuck this group, fuck money, you know, all of that. I thought we were friends. Like, we are friends. But it's like, you blocked my number, you blocked me on your social media. And she's like, I just want to be able to call you and talk to you and make sure that you're okay. And you didn't do that. Like, you basically just shut me out your life, and it hurts. And they getting emotional with each other, and it's just like, damn, like, it really touched my heart. And, you know, Pam said she was on, well, she still is on her religious and spiritual journey, but she felt like she had to leave the group and basically just cut them off, which I didn't understand, because it's just like, yeah, you going down a different path, but you can still have your friends. And she said, you know, it just made me laugh, because it's like Kima was wiping her tears away. She gave her another hug, and it's like Pam trying so hard, but Kima like, girl, you gonna let me touch you. And let's see, Jazzy Faye showed up, and there were a few other producers, songwriters who, you know, showed up to listen to this music. But Felicia and Fallon, their sisters didn't show up, but Fallon said she understood because she knows that her sisters are busy, and the only other person she would want to show up for her is Felicia, and of course Felicia is right by her side, so she has no problem with it. And the shady part is, it's like as soon as they Keely gives like a little introduction. It's basically, that's all. That was her Lord, I can't get my words together. That's what she contributed to the group, is introducing them to the listening party. And it's like they get started with skeletons, and not even a few notes are played before everybody like cut that off, cut it, and they like that. And Nivea, once again, and I never give Nivea her flowers like really in the review, because it'd be so much other drama going on. But Nivea said, "Ooh, this gonna be a long listening party if they cutting already, and only a few notes have been played." Like, child, I don't want to hear it. And I was thinking the same thing, because I'm like, damn, you ain't even let the song play, you ain't heard a full verse yet, and y'all just like cut it out. Okay, so we figure out that the problem was, they said, you know, don't just let the records play. Y'all get out, perform it for us. Let us know who's singing which part, because it is so many people on these records. Like, we need to know who's singing who, perform it for us. So, you know, they like start the record over and they start performing, which it does look better, you know, to see something instead of just people sitting around like, who voice is that? Is that you? Like, which one is this? And so while they're performing the songs, like going through the songs, 702 is in the back, as well as Aubrey in the back. Like, they not moving, they not doing nothing, they just standing there while the twins and Shamari and Pam, like, they grooving and they doing their parts. But it's just like, once again, y'all not participating and not doing nothing. And who was that? Iris, she was like, I see my sister over there, she's questioning her value, like trying to be so deep. And it's like, she's not questioning her value. She is used to being a part of Danity Kane at one point, who had banging producers, banging songwriters who did the shit for them, and all she had to do was sing and learn a few dance steps. And now that she has to actually participate in the work, she don't feel it, basically, is what she's saying. She's basically saying, like, these songs ain't it, it's something better. And it's just like, while you know, the group members and the producers are listening, they liking everything. They're like, you know, this sounds good, I like the music. And Aubrey is just like, I disagree. We not even scratching the surface of potential. And I forgot to mention, let me point out, nobody showed up for her. Nobody. And that says something. And it's just like, Aubrey, if you felt this way and you feel like you have so much potential, because let's get into it. Yeah, you were a part of Danity Kane and they had great success, but y'all tried to come back again. Y'all weren't that successful, and then you made that group with what is her name? The wife, Shannon. What was y'all, Super Blonde or whatever y'all was supposed to be? That didn't gain no success either. So it's like, yeah, you were a part of a very popular group. Like, I still listen to both of them albums. Ain't nobody trying to play you like that. But quit trying to make it seem like you just got the recipe to make a great ass group and you know everything. Because if that's the case, your own career will be popping on your own and you wouldn't be on this show. That's what I want to stop. Like, just quit making it seem like you know everything and what the twins have done and created. Like, you really, what is that? Like your little song cute. It's just like, that's cute. That's cute for you. But it ain't like you talking shit on the side. And really her just standing in the back not doing nothing. It's just, why are you still here? When you took your mattress out of that room, you should have really left completely and not came back. And then, who is this? Mila, like, she get choked up for a second, giving Irish and Lamisha they flowers and, like, you know, I'm really proud of y'all. And after they had a little crying session, the song Bird's Eye View comes on, and this is when Lamisha tries to come out to the forefront, but it's awkward. It's like she not meant to be out in the front, and that's no shade. I'm not trying to step on her or nothing like that, but, and even Iris said, she was like, you know, I said that I wanted to be back out there, but I'm just standing back here, like, why am I embarrassed? And it's like I said, no shade, but y'all meant to be in the background. Y'all not meant to be lead parts and, you know, like, be out in the front. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, nothing at all. And I want to mention that Aubrey threw some shade about the twins thinking they Beyonce. And I want everybody to stop comparing people to Beyonce. Because Beyonce is, like, at the fucking top. Ain't nobody really touching her. But anytime somebody feeling themselves and they, you know, doing their thing, that don't mean that they think they the Beyonce of this thing. That means they just believe in themselves and they like what they working with. So Kima and Pam sit off to the side after, you know, the listening party is over, because one of the producers, I believe his name is Stone, he told them, he said, this could be something really big and really special. Like, please make this work. And that's what me and Ramblin' K been talking about. Like, when we in our group chat, we said, like, the music is bomb. Like, this is gonna be a bomb EP, and I hope they really put this music out, because I want it. I will listen to it, including Pam's gospel song. I want it. Like, do not let this flop, please. But anyway, Kima and Pam sit off to the side, and Pam says, you know, I mean, not Pam, Kima, she's like, this is really great. Y'all did good, and I really love your gospel song. And Pam lets her know, you know, I wrote it with Felicia, and I'm so proud of it. But Kima is like, how did you get here? Like, how did you get here to do this, but you cut us off? And she was like, you know, I understand you want to go solo. You being solo, I fully support it, but you could have went solo and we still did our group thing. But then you also just completely shut me out. Like, what's up with that? And of course, Pam's explanation is, you know, what she said from the very beginning. When she first got there, that God called her to come there, and that's her reasoning for being there. And Kima tells her, you know, well, I just want you to think about how great our group was. And it's just like, Kima, she has given y'all all y'all flowers. I just want you to know that. And of course, like, in her confessional, Pam says, you know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Total. And I'm like, I don't know the personal aspect, but Pam has shown love and given respect to her being a part of Total and the things that they have done. But Kima, you know, she tells her, excuse me, which once again Beyonce is brought up, which drives me crazy. Like I've already said, everything doesn't need to be compared to Beyonce, but of course she is the top of the top, so you want to compare yourself to the best. And she says, do you remember that you told us that you were the Beyonce and we were the rest of the groups of Destiny Child? And Pam was like, no, I don't remember that at all. I don't remember saying nothing like that. And she was like, well, you know, I love you and you're going to have a hit gospel record. And, you know, Pam, she gets emotional and she says, you know, maybe me being here was like a full circle moment, which led to me getting in contact with you and us making up. So it's just like, you know, it was all meant to be in a way. And so then we go to Irish 702 is basically at the bar having drinks, and Mila is telling them, you know, y'all did great. And then all of a sudden we get an attitude from Irish because she turns to Lamisha and says, do you notice who was singing the most out there? Shamari. And she's like, for somebody who was agreeing with us yesterday that they didn't have that many parts, they sure was out there dancing. I said, you know what that is? That's commitment. That's participation. Because maybe she was singing other parts that didn't belong to her, but it's like, okay, they want to see a show, I'm gonna give them a show. You back there trying to be a sidekick to Aubrey and look cool and not participate. Okay, so what? You only got 1 or 2 lines. But it's like, Irish, you said yourself that you used to be in the background. What the background do? The background, the hype person, you dance, you can throw in ad-libs. You just ain't got to stick to your 1 or 2 lines when y'all live performing. And I'm saying that as I already knew about 702, but I also was on YouTube earlier watching some of y'all live performances. You know how to get down, so why was you not giving none of that energy? You ain't never been a lead vocalist, so why are you mad now? And if you felt that way, you should have been practicing over the years and getting your voice together. And you should have told them, like, you know, I would like to take lead on this part, or, you know, can you help me out? And I want to sing more. But y'all, I'm tired of repeating myself, because that's basically what every episode is. Somebody is complaining that they not getting enough recognition, but ain't nobody doing nothing about it. And so she is like really upset, but surprisingly, Lamisha is okay. I guess she got her little 2 seconds in the front and she good now, because she's like, you know, I'm happy with how everything is now. Because I think, like, while they was performing and she realized, like, how much the lead person would have to do, she's like, nope, I'm good with my little 1-2 when I can go stand in the back. That's just my opinion. But Irish is really upset, and she talking about getting on the plane and getting out of here and, you know, being done with it all. And it's just like I said, the same thing is being repeated every episode. Every episode is a new person ready to go home that's threatening to go home and letting that be what it is. So the producer that told them, you know, don't let this flop, really do something with this, he's sitting off to the side with Aubrey now. And Aubrey is telling him how she had a little run-in with Elijah. Like, she didn't name him specifically, but she's like, you know, I had a problem or a run-in with a producer or something like that. And it's just like, you laying on this chair trying to play victim while still talking shit but not doing nothing, I have a serious problem with. But she's still saying, you know, like, I was a part of this group. I'm gonna get to that in a second. And excuse me, after that, you know, they're in the kitchen talking, and Lamisha is telling everybody. That's why I said the editing is off. Because if you start the episode with the outfits that they had on, and then it's like they don't went through the party, and it's time to lay down now, but they got these same clothes like back on. Because I don't know. It's weird. Because it's just like, okay, after y'all performed, did y'all take them clothes off and go put on the clothes that you... it's weird. Anyway, she's like, you know, Irish has been feeling away about not being able to sing a lot, but, you know, it's times where there's nothing wrong with her, and she just don't, basically throwing her sister under the bus, saying, you know, she'll show up when she want to show up, just like you did, Lamisha, right? But because you're queen now, you have to be fair to everybody. But it's like, that's what y'all all do. y'all show up when y'all feel like it, because like I said, y'all used to the producers and the songwriters being there and creating a vibe and just telling you, look, go in the booth and lay this down. That's what y'all used to. But anyway, then we have Aubrey waking up the next day, which it, like I said, is editing. I forgot to look. This is like, it just popped into my head because in the beginning of the episode, Aubrey and Pam sat down together, and Pam had the weirdest. She had 4 thick ass slices of whatever bread and some peanut butter on the side, and sis was going to town. Like, she was chowing down on that bread and that peanut butter. But at some point in them talking, that plate was like completely cleared. There was nothing on it. I'm like, not even remnants of peanut butter ever being on that plate or that bread on there. It was so weird. But anyway, while they talking, it's the outfit that Aubrey had on, because now with her supposedly waking up the next day and having revelations, it's that outfit. So it's just like, y'all, I believe the twins, because both of the twins been doing live saying that the editing is, you know, not correct, and they feel like they have to fight to prove themselves. And it's like, I believe this is showing proof that the editing is jacked up and it's not edited correctly, and they're grabbing from different places. But I still stand by my point when I said nobody cares. They can only judge what they're looking at, and they're going to go with the narrative that they want to create from watching this show. But yeah, she putting on her shoes and she's basically saying, you know, I'm tired. And she said she feels like she has the most creative direction out of everybody, but she cannot lead this group because nobody wants to listen to her, and she's tired of being bossed around by a child. So I guess that's setting up for her to leave, which, if that's the case, Aubrey, bye. And like I've already said, but I'll say it again, if you had that much creative directiveness and you were just that bomb, you would not be on this show, and you would have been able to create another hit. Because when she says being bossed around by a child, she said something about being a part of a major group that did numbers or something like that. Put some fucking respect on her name. And it's like, I'm gonna stop you right there. You were a part of Diddy's group with Diddy backing y'all, which made y'all very successful. And as shitty as Diddy is, I'm gonna give him his motherfucking flowers and put some respect on his name. It's because y'all were, you know, with Diddy that y'all sold the numbers that y'all did and made the type of money that y'all made. Like, yeah, y'all performed, but it was because of him. Because like I said before, y'all came back and tried to put Danny Kane together. Didn't sell. You tried to be in a duo group with Shannon. That didn't go nowhere either. So don't just make it seem like you made that group happen at one point and that was just you, and they just need to bow down to your feet. Because if you was that damn good, you would have made something else. So how you got a problem with the twins, it's the same. And somebody said something about them all being Gemini, and you know, I'm not into astrology like that, or the zodiacs, but if that makes sense, it's like y'all the same, but you just can't, you just can't stand the fact, I almost bit my tongue, that they are actually doing something, and you just standing off to the side like Keely. I know it's late, but didn't nobody show up for Keely either. So it's like nobody showed up for the twins, nobody showed up for Nivea, but I guess you could say Jazzy Faye did, kinda, because you know she's a solo artist. But Aubrey, Keely, or Nivea, like nobody showed up for them, and it's like, we not surprised. Y'all don't do nothing. So Aubrey is now gone, and everybody is acting like they are so broken up about the fact that she's gone. Like Pam at her confessional talking about she's so vital to the group. What did she bring to the group, Pam? What's vital about what she did while she was there? Like, okay, she's gone. Good riddance. Like, Aubrey, y'all didn't need her. And, you know, Nivea is acting like she's so sad. And Shamari's like, man, it was really good yesterday. We had a good time. I'm glad she came out the room to perform with us. What did she perform? We saw her back there looking bored. Her making faces while y'all was singing. Is that what you call a performance? Because if it is, I don't want it. I wouldn't come to the concert. And so now they're in the studio because they're like, you know, we got to scratch, take all her stuff off, and, you know, just recut the record. So now we have Aaliyah J, the vocal coach Cinnamon, and Cosign showing up. And I'm assuming after that blow up with Aubrey, I keep wanting to call her Audrey. This is not Little Shop of Horrors. I guess they told him he couldn't come back. So, because we ain't seen Elijah since then. And so he's playing the records Bird's Eye View. And he plays Felicia's record, but he cuts it off. And she's like, who told you to cut off my record? Don't cut off my record. He's like, that's the wrong version. Basically saying that his version is the correct version. And they so fake. It's so phony because yesterday, while they was in the studio and they played his version, everybody said it don't sound right, it sound dry, it's not good, they didn't like it, they like her version better. But now that he in the studio playing his version, Shamari is getting her life on that couch, like shaking her head and all that type of stuff. But you can tell that Felicia is pissed off. So he cuts off the music and says, does she look throw it off? No. While the music is playing, he's like, is she throw it off? Are you throw it off? So Felicia's like, pause it. What are you saying? And he's like, are you throw it off? And she's like, yeah, the bass is way too loud. He's like, well, Shamari is over there grooving, so, you know, what's the problem? And she says, when did I ever tell you that I gave a fuck if she grooving or not to my song? It don't sound right. And so now, you know, it's tension between them because, see, and that's another thing. Everybody tried to make it seem like it's just the twins' fault, but I feel like they be hyping them up, excuse me, and then because the twins are so vocal, they'll be the ones to actually speak up, and then people like flip the switch on them, so they come off looking more crazy than what they actually are. Because I'm not completely excusing them, please don't take that for what it is. But yesterday y'all hyped them up and said both of the versions of those two different songs that he did not sound good, and y'all liked both of her versions better. But now that he's there, Shamari is in the corner like acting like it's the best fucking song she ever heard. Stop it. And so, you know, they are going back and forth, and Cosign starts calling her, what was it, like young lady, shorty, and all this type of stuff. And Keely hops in and she's like, please stop calling her that. Like, you can address her by her name. You ain't got to start calling her all these little names. I think he called her a kid. And, you know, in her confessional, she's like, I do not like that toxic masculinity shit. And I can feel where she's coming from. Because it's just like, why am I all of these things now? Because I'm voicing up my opinion at you. And so now it's kind of Felicia and Keely going at Cosign. And he's like, you know, I'm the producer of this house. And Felicia's like, no, I'm the producer of this house. And, you know, basically you're not doing nothing while you here. And so, you know, ain't nobody saying nothing. They just letting it go back and forth. And I will say this, like, Felicia, for his energy, but you know, that's not right. Because she was passionate about what she was saying. And that was the thing. He was like, relax, calm down. And Keely was like, don't tell her that. She can express herself, and don't tell her to relax, and don't tell her to calm down. She's having a conversation with you, and she's just passionate about it. And so, you know, they're just going back and forth, and it just gets to a point where Aaliyah gets up and says, okay, let's all calm down. You know, Cosign is still a part of the team. Let's give him a minute to relax, and let's just cool down. And so Felicia gets up and she walks out, and Keely walks out behind her because, you know, they own one right now. And Felicia says, oh, I can't wait to tell Fallon this shit. And I know people don't like it, but I don't have a problem with it. Because if I got problems, I'm going to my sisters too. And they going to have my back. So it just is what it is. People don't like it, but I don't have a problem with it. And Keely is right there with them because she's feeling the same way too. It's just like he seemed cool this whole time, but now it's like a little bit of his real attitude is shining through. And basically, like, he didn't even care about the track. He's like, you know, when I leave it on here and I like leave it on the computer and I leave here, like, basically my work is done. So what happens after that, he don't know, and he really don't care. Like, that's the energy he giving off. So I would have been feeling like Felicia too. So it's just like, so what are you here for? You can leave. You can leave. And so once again, it's just like, really ain't nothing getting done any type of way. And we'll just see where they go next time, you know. So that was basically the end of the episode, Felicia walking off. But that's my review, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back next week for episode 7. Peace and blessings, my beautiful people.